Okay.
An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 1957 I Was a Teenage Werewolf and the 1975 Disney film, The Strongest Man in the World, starring Michael Landon, Kurt Russell, Arlene Logan, Eve Arden, Cesar Romero, Ken Miller, and DVP, Dick Van Patten. Now, two guys who plant kindness and gather love, Tim Crutchman and Jeff Miller.
Oh my God. You know what? You didn't destroy like half the people's names. I'm considering this a huge win for the show.
Because I haven't been drinking.
Yeah, that's what's different. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to Dead on the Bases. This is the show where a sports fan watches horror movies and a horror fan watches terrible, horrible horror movies.
Why? Why is that every week?
I said horror movies and you still
you did.
You fell for it.
Okay, you did.
Anyway, he's Jeff Miller. We call him the Ump.
I am.
Jeff designed the baseball diamond at one time using graph paper, a protractor, and a jar of chewing tobacco.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Did you use that one thing in school? The compass?
Compass?
Yeah. Did you?
I
were you a
used
fan
to
of the compass?
use that as a weapon. It scared people away.
No. I mean, were you a fan of the compass?
No, I never used it. I carried it all the time.
Well, you had to. It was like on your list of stuff you had to have.
Oh, Jeff, there is something I need to tell you about.
Yep. What is it?
We just came out of an important time of the year for the vampire community. And that, of course, would be the scary, spooky season of Halloween.
Yep.
What comes after that in the United States?
Thanksgiving.
You're wrong. Try again. You're wrong.
I don't know.
The correct answer is Halloween clearance. And we went. We happened to be at the Mart of Walls.
I wasn't. When he says we, he must mean himself and other personalities. Oh, yep. We should have like
We were at the Walmart, and it was 75% off.
That's a price.
And
you're a deal finder, so yeah.
I am. And I had a coupon. And
oh my God.
I saw this.
Oh my God.
And I knew I had to get it for my fan of Jeeps.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, baby.
This is a witch duck. Hold that up to the camera so everybody can say hi to the witch duck.
I like it.
He actually the little tag there, because you might want to bring it back and get a quarter for it. There's a little broom that he has because, as you know, ducks are very neat birds and sweep up after themselves. But the witch.
I like this.
So I thought
who
you
made
would
that
enjoy
noise?
it.
Was that a computer noise?
No, when you squeeze it, go ahead and squeeze.
Oh, yeah. Do it to me, baby.
That's you, Tim. All right.
Oh, what gave that away,
Well,
Jeff?
anyways.
Tonight we got some great movies.
The witch duck. What am I going to call it? It's going to be a warlock. If it's a guy, it's a warlock duck.
Well,
so what should I call him?
Hold on.
Okay.
That's a girl.
All right, well, then it could be a witch duck.
Okay,
I wonder,
smile.
You know what? I'm going to name it Samantha.
Samantha, that's a good name. And then if it turns out I did it wrong, you could just go Sammy and you're good. All right.
But wasn't Bewitched? She's beautiful.
Oh, I loved her.
She is great. That's why that's who this is going to be. Samantha.
Yeah. Hey, tonight we are reviewing the horror film that I gave Jeff. And what a lucky man Jeff is each and every week getting these movies from me. I was a teenage werewolf.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I don't go first this week. When I buy food, you go first.
Okay.
But if you need me to go first, I will.
I'm introducing the films, Jeff. Is this your first show?
It's been a couple weeks. I forgot.
Yeah, we get rusty.
This is what happens. You know,
we get rusty.
Okay, so when you're
we get so excited to see each other.
When,
Jeff's tail was wagging.
When you're in a So here's the thing. I don't have a little crutch, so I
Right.
forget things. I remember things when I'm on the juice.
No, you don't. You think you do. You think you do.
All right, so that's my movie.
Right. And then the sports movie
Is
The Strongest Man in the World,
Yep.
which stars Kurt Russell,
Yep.
who is a celebrity, ladies and gentlemen. Usually Jeff gives me movies with people nobody's ever heard of,
Never.
and they're kind of garbage anyway. So this is an unusual move. This was made by an actual movie studio called Disney. Usually I get stuff that apparently was shot, off the back of a pickup truck
Listen
after
to
somebody
this.
had been taking drugs all night. So anyway, it's going to be a big, big show.
I remember this show as a kid. That's what made me think of this show. I remember watching this show as a kid.
All right. You know what it is, though?
What?
It is time to go into that first movie. And because you bought dinner, I start. Thanks for giving away every secret we have with the show.
Yeah, but
The show is actually an excuse for us to eat.
I need to bring up dinner because I am not gonna ever go there again. I'm going back to the local from now on out.
Because this was actually a really good dinner.
And my burger was raw.
Whatever.
I didn't take any chances.
I don't think it was, but
It was
want
pink.
to.
It was pink.
You want to go to the local every time. Actually, though, it doesn't matter because whatever we had was going to be overshadowed by the incredible smash cake, I think it was, pumpkin
Yes,
pie smash cake.
that Michelle made.
Michelle made it for us, and delicious.
So here's
Delicious. And I hope you enjoyed your piece, Jeff, because that's the only one you're getting.
it was very good.
It's going to probably be gone in about 2 hours.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Michelle. My birthday's in May.
Oh, God.
And-
Stop it.
And I love pineapple
Stop.
upside down cake.
Okay, just stop.
So there you go.
Stop. You're embarrassing
No, it was very
yourself.
good. It was very
It
good.
was great.
Yeah.
That's why we're a little late getting in here. Usually we open the stream a little bit earlier. But we were enjoying a wonderful meal.
I'm a little bit of a sugar high right now.
Okay, we'll call it that. Strongest Man in the World came out in 1975. Jeff, are you going to tell me how long it was?
No, that's your job. But listen, did you notice that your movie was a flip-flop of mine? It was 1957, 1975.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the movie I gave you was good and the movie you gave me.
No, what's that called? An anagram?
Okay.
A flip-flop? What's it called when the numbers are the same but they're different and they're flipped?
Transpose.
There you go. We did a transposition this week.
All right.
We didn't even know we were doing it.
Are we all impressed?
These are the little
now?
things that I see.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I watched this movie and I checked like 7 times that it was made in 1975 because it felt like a 1960s movie.
It did.
So hard. So hard. And I checked and the other... I was waiting. I said it twice. But this was part of a series of films called Dexter Riley films. They all took place at Medfield College. And let me get the names of those. Those movies were The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes in 1969, which was a wonderful year. It was.
It was.
It
The Mets won the World Series.
It opened December 31st of 1969, which means The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes came out when I was just a few months old.
Okay.
Now You See Him, Now You Don't. And in that first one, Dexter Riley becomes super smart.
Oh.
In the second one, Now You See Him, Now You Don't, he becomes invisible.
Really?
Yes.
I want to see that.
And the third one was The Strongest Man in the World, where he becomes super constipated because whenever he eats cereal, he blows smoke out of his mouth.
Maybe it's lactose.
It could be. It could be. It could be the milk. Let me tell you, of the 3 films, this movie actually had the biggest box office, which is the opposite of the old line of hey, how many of the sequels made a profit, you usually say, oh, but the last one, because usually what happens is the budget goes down and either the profits continue to rise or they stop making them, you know. And this movie was doing pretty good. And let me tell you, this was low budget affair compared to the other films.
Can I ask a general movie question?
You may.
I thought that I heard at one point, except for Empire Strikes Back, most of the time the sequel is not as good as the original because they just throw something together. Is that correct?
Well, that's a qualitative question.
Okay.
There are great sequels all over the place, kind of like this guy. He's great. But I sneaked one in again. But sequels, sometimes they're great, and sometimes they stink bananas. You know.
Okay.
So, you really can't say. In my mind, it was the fourth movie of the original Planet of the Apes, which was the best. Other people disagree. Right. What was the other thing we were just watching the other day, and we're like, yeah, it's kind of fourth movie where they figured it out. But in this case, I believe the Computer That Wore Tennis Shoes is the best.
Fair enough.
Now, this was at the time where Disney had The Wonderful World of Disney, or Disney in color. So a lot of these movies were released, and like 10 minutes later, they were on TV.
Yeah, I saw it.
Because I did too. I think we all saw it that way on NBC, wasn't it? I think it was NBC. And you would have seen it because you watched football, and then it would join the damn movie halfway through because all you sports fans can't wait. And I would have to watch only half of a movie.
Well,
ruined Heidi for me. Anyway.
Whatever. I knew you were going there.
Now, this is the movie that Unfrosted should have been, that Jerry Seinfeld movie that came out about frosted tarts or whatever. Pop-Tarts. This is about two competing cereal companies fighting for the secret ingredient that makes Kurt Russell super strong. Now, here's the thing that's interesting to me. And this is why I don't feel that this is the best of the Dexter Riley movies. Precious little Dexter Riley in this Dexter Riley film. It is mostly the dean and the kind of goofy lab assistant guy that are the biggies in this movie. Now, I will say what's really interesting to me watching this kind of in retrospective, 1975, there was only a year or two before Star Wars would come out. Famously, Star Wars was shot on terrible film stock, and when they were trying to restore it, Darth Vader looked like he was wearing like navy blue underoos. It didn't look black, right? Because in the 70s, film stock was terrible. I was watching this movie, and I'm like, this film stock is frigging gorgeous. I mean, if you get a chance, watch this in 4K or whatever they give it to you. They obviously used great film stock, very colorful movie. If you're like adjusting your television set, this is the movie for you. Very colorful, very vibrant.
Wait a second.
Yes.
You know what?
What?
I watched this on a black and white, so I didn't even see those colors.
Oh my God.
I had this hooked up to my black and white.
Jeff.
Oh no.
First of all, Jeff, who the hell has a black and white anymore?
I do.
Where?
So that makes.
Where have you got? You watched it. You watched this in the bathroom, didn't you? You watched this in the bathroom.
Did not.
He's like, I'm going to see a Kurt Russell movie. He might pull out a flamethrower. I better be in the bathroom so I can play along. That's what was going on.
This does not need to go down this road at all. Does not need to go down this road at all.
But you're welcome, America, for that picture.
No one liked that picture.
Okay. Now, this movie also has some really bad Chinese stereotypes that did not
Can't do it
age well. There's no way you could do this. And the fashion choices in this movie, what people were wearing in 1975,
Yeah.
I don't think you could dare people to wear this stuff today. But it was nice seeing like professors and that wearing a suit.
Yep.
Because I know when I went to college, I don't think I saw a suit on any of my professors.
I agree.
They would be wearing a T-shirt like this. Nothing. Now, it's a pretty campy movie. So if you're not in the mood for campy, this is not the movie for you. And, you know, it's very corny and all that sort of thing. But if you're in the mood for corny, this is going to be right down the middle, what is it? Across the plate into the ring ropes is what this would be. So
right down
this story was similar to the Bud and Lou flick that Jeff inflicted on me last season called Here Comes the Co-eds, because they were like a last minute competition. They're trying to save the college. All those types of tropes are in this film. Now, one thing that was surprising to me, not being the sports fanatic that Jeff is, because you had told me that this movie would be 100% accurate in sports. I had no idea.
I never said that.
Jeff, don't.
Oh, I know where you're going to go with this. I know what you're going with this. Go ahead.
I was not aware that weightlifting competitions were timed. Because they're playing beat the clock at the end. And I'm like, what? That's why I consider Jeff's movies educational, because when I was in school, we saw a lot of films like the ones that Jeff gives me, which basically have a common theme, which is don't do drugs. And here we are again with somebody performance enhancing for the big game. And it's a Disney movie with Kurt Russell before he was doing horror movies. I was sitting there and I'm like, good God, Jeff sneaked another drug movie toward me.
If you want to spin it that way, I guess I did.
He is constantly hitting me with it. Now, Jeff likes it when I talk about this. There are a lot of character actors in this movie.
I know. That's nice.
This is pretty well the Walt Disney Repertory Character Actors Group. One of my favorites, Richard Bacalin. I believe I said that right. He is the guy that plays Cookie. So Cesar Romero's little lapdog guy, that is the worst. IMDb has the worst picture of this guy. You can barely see him in the picture. He's cropped. Yeah. He's the guy with like the crooked nose. It's like, yeah, boss, we got to climb out the outside of the building. You know, that's the worst impersonation ever.
Yeah.
But he's in it. Professor Quigley is played by William Shallert, who everybody knows him from his star turn in Inner Space as Martin Short's doctor. I love William Shallert. I think he's great. You have James Gregory as the chief. Now, James Gregory played in the Planet of the Apes. He was a general, and he has a very distinctive way of talking. So I was making a note when he first shows up, and I hear his voice, and I go, is that freaking James Gregory? Sure enough, there he is. Hello, everybody. He's doing it. He is James Gregorying it to the nth degree. You know who he is immediately. And another one, and you're going to be looking at IMDb in a second to find out who it is.
No, I know who it is.
Oh, really?
Well, it's
who am I going to say? Okay, yeah.
This guy.
Paul Linke, who played Peter Porky Higgins. You'll remember him. He's the guy that stretches his arms out.
Yeah. I know who that is.
Okay.
I saw him
He has been in so many comedy roles.
Yep.
But those of us that are on the right side of history, and that means horror movie fans, know him from Motel Hell, which you are absolutely going to get one of these years. Thanks for reminding me about that one. And they had the guy that played the ref in the end sequence. He's been in about 10,000 Disney films.
He was also like, I thought he was like in Gomer Pyle and that too.
Now,
I know who we're talking about. Yep.
Okay. Next.
Yes.
The opening sequence of The Strongest Man in the World is it one of those typical, and I'm going to say 60s, even though this is 70s, the 60s animated credits where they show little quick jokes animated, and the names come out in an animated form. As I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen this before in a movie. And one after another, I am going to read to you. Because the way that the credits came out, it showed the actor's name and his character's name.
Right.
And I started noting a trend.
Okay.
Here we go. We have Melissa Caffey playing Melissa. We had John Debney played John. Matthew Conaway Dunn played Matthew. Pat Fitzpatrick, you know who he played? Pat. David R. Ellis played David. Larry Franco, do you know who he played?
I'm going to say Franco.
Larry.
Frank.
Roy Roberts, do you know who he played?
No.
This one is shocking. Mr. Roberts.
Wow.
They went with the last name. Erwin Sharon played Erwin. Roger Price played Roger. Jack Bailey played Jack. Larry Gelman played Larry. Eric Brotherson played Eric. Henry Slate played Mr. Slate. And Byron Webster played Mr. Webster. I have never seen a movie that had so many actors that would forget their characters' names that they had to change the character names to their name.
Wow.
Unreal. I had never seen that before. It was just jumping off the page at me. But since we are talking about the actors, it's time for everybody's favorite section of my reviews, the horror movie connection. Now, Jeff, do you think you're going to hear a lot of big ones or not too many this time?
From this?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get some, yeah, because these guys have been around a while. Yep.
Okay. Let's start with little Curdy Russell.
Kurt?
Do you think he's ever had any horror movies in his past?
He's a Hall of Famer, and yes, he has.
Yes.
He's had The Thing.
The Thing. He's also been in Bone Tomahawk. He was in the Monarch series, which is in the Godzilla-verse, I guess is what they're calling it, which is a stupid name, but that's what they're calling it. And he was in the Grindhouse film and the mini film Death Proof.
Yeah, he was a stuntman in there.
Yeah,
you bet.
Stuntman Mike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I have not yet seen that movie, by the way.
Get out of here.
I saw Planet Terror.
Oh, listen.
And somehow I never got to see Death Proof.
Here's something that you guys will be, I'm going to throw all you people off. I went on a date to see these back to back in the movie theater when they came out.
Oh, yeah? How long was it?
So I think they're both each an hour and a half. Maybe it was 3 hours total.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Because a lot of people want to know how long.
Oh, I don't know exactly. But you know what else Kurt Russell was in? We saw him in The Best of Times. That was a movie I gave you.
That was a football movie,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And like a school reunion type.
You know what? We should watch Death Proof over by your brothers.
Yeah, that would be good.
Good.
Except for you probably wouldn't do it. All right. Then we have my good personal friend Joe Flynn. Now, he did comedy. I believe he was in McHale's Navy.
Yeah.
Before he did these. This was one of his last movies, by the way.
Really?
The strongest man in the world. Do you think he has any horror background?
No.
He actually did some on television. He did Twilight Zone and Night Gallery. So
does that count?
Rod Serling. It absolutely counts. A lot of early credits are television. And frankly, some people only want television these days because, more people are seeing it.
I gotcha.
Eve Arden, do you recognize her, by the way?
From Grease.
From Grease. That's absolutely correct. She was the principal of Riverdale High. And Eve Arden does have a relatively small amount of horror films. Amazing Stories. She was in a couple episodes in the 80s. She only has 2 credits out of 101. By the way, Kurt Russell has 109. If you would have asked me who had more credits, I would not think they were that close. And Kurt Russell has 3 horror credits to his name. So now we go to Cesar Romero. Now, what is he best known for, Jeff?
I think it's like the Batman TV show.
Incorrect. You're wrong, Jeff. You're wrong. What Cesar Romero is best known for is that he had a fetish of having young boys throw orange peels at his ass, his naked ass.
Whatever.
Very well known.
You're making this up because that doesn't sound like that'd be true.
Watch the chat room. I am going to be bore out and correct by a number of people about this. He also was in Night Gallery.
Oh.
He has twice as many credits as any of the three we just had, including Kurt Russell. He has twice as many credits.
What?
Unreal. And I'm talking total credits, 202 movies.
So then what did I see Cesar Romero in? He was not in Batman in the TV show?
Yeah, he was in Batman. I was messing with you.
What? You
Why do you think I'm not going to mess with you sometimes? Why do you think that?
Let's roll.
This is Phil Silvers. He was in charge of the other cereal company, as you recall.
Yeah.
In the movie. He does have one appearance in a horror movie, and it's Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Phil Silvers because I think he's the funniest person in the entire It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Yep.
One of my favorite
I
comedies.
saw that movie.
All right. Then we go to, what did you call him? DVP?
DVP.
You're the only human on Earth that has ever called him DVP.
You don't know that.
I do know that. DVP, whose son used to hawk the local casino like crazy. Did you ever meet him?
No, I never had a chance to meet him.
I know he was
there,
hawking in commercials. Dick Van Patten did have an appearance in Kolchak, the Night Stalker. He was in Beware the Blob, which was the sequel to the first version of Blob. You saw the remake. And he was in the Midnight Hour TV movie with Wolfman Jack. And for some reason, they called that a horror movie. I looked it up. It's like one of those comedy monster mashes that were made for television.
Oh
so
gosh.
Apparently it is a horror credit, but that's stretching her pretty good. Then we have Harold Gould.
Yep.
Now, unless you see the picture, you don't know the name. As soon as you see the picture, you're like, oh, that's the guy that was in every 70s television series ever made. So it'll be no surprise to you at all that he was in the original Twilight Zone and, of course, our favorite, the 1995 Outer Limits, that seems to have every actor seems to be represented on that show. It's unbelievable. He did a ton of character actor stuff. A lot of times he was a comedy villain where he was like the bad guy because he was the banker that was going to buy out the orphans or whatever. So Harold Gould was also in this movie. I will say, if for no other reason, this movie is kind of entertaining to watch. Entertaining to watch.
Is he related to L.A. Gould?
I could not find any evidence of that.
Okay.
But
good to know.
It's kind of fun to watch this from the standpoint of you see all these old TV character actors getting a chance to be campy. But here's where the problem with the movie is. You knew I was going to have a problem, and that problem is this is supposed to be a comedy, and for some reason they forgot to be
You
be
didn't laugh?
No.
Oh my God. When the cow was giving all the milk?
Yeah, it had some amusing things to it, but it really wasn't funny. But I believe a child would enjoy it quite a bit. No, I wonder if I would have been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see a campy movie, a corny movie. If I would have gone in like that, if I would have enjoyed it more, it kind of left me cold. But I will say, wasn't bored. Wasn't bored. So it's okay. Not something I'm going to go see. I'm not going to seek it out again anytime soon. But I'm not going to avoid seeing the other Dexter Riley movies. My main problem with it, not only was it not all that funny, there wasn't that much Kurt Russell. For being the star of the movie, don't know, what was his running time? 10 minutes? 15 minutes?
About 10 minutes.
Something like that. You saw more of Cesar Romero. You saw a lot more of Joe Flynn. Eve Arden is surprisingly high on the list.
She's a pretty woman.
People, oh yeah, she was, and then she got old. But
Terrible.
But yeah, I'm a horrible human being. But she was like third build or something in the movie, and it's like she wasn't in it all that much either. So I just wish there was more of Kurt Russell in it. So I'm gonna have to score it a 6 out of 10.
All right.
You know, it's good, not great, or I would say fair. That's what I'll say. I'll say fair. It wasn't. It wouldn't have taken much to get it to good, and I think the much would have been just give me more Kurt Russell.
Really? So if there would have been more Kurt Russell, I could have maybe got a 7 or an 8.
First of all, Jeff, the people that make the film are the ones that get the score.
Oh.
You had nothing to do with making this movie.
I
want people to realize that Jeff does not make the movies that he does. Otherwise, I would be sending him for drug counseling. Okay, let's get into our next segment.
Where does that even come from?
Where does what come from?
I'm going to make a movie.
It's going to have drug-addled
Rattlequake.
sportscasters. Oh my God. Okay. So for people that don't know, this is Jeff Miller. Are you going to be doing your thing here today?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
All right. Are you ready?
Always born ready.
Should I count it down for you?
Nah.
Okay. I'll hit the bed and then you can go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're ready?
100%. I'm Jeff Miller, and this is Today in Sports History. On this date, November 7th, 1936, the New York Americans defeat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 in the first ever coast-to-coast radio broadcasted game coming out of Canada. On this date in 1963, Elston Howard of the New York Yankees is named the first black player to be named American League MVP. In 1999, Tiger Woods. On this date in 1999, Tiger Woods became the first golfer since Ben Hogan in 1953 to win 4 straight tournaments in the PGA. And in 2008, Jerry Sloan became the first NBA coach in history to log 1,000 wins with one team, the Utah Jazz. They defeated the Oklahoma Thunder 104-97. I'm Jeff Miller, and that's Today in Sports History.
Jeff, just on behalf of all of our listeners, thank you for the awesomeness that you are.
First time.
I love First Madness.
There she is.
There she is. We love Merch Madness too.
Mike's mom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mike's mom totally getting paid off to do that. We're slipping her dollar bills.
Mike's
$2 bills.
mom loves us.
She's so much cooler than Mike. He'll admit that. No, she came up to us and she's like, "Oh, I love the merch segment." And Jeff gives me this look like, "See, I was right."
That's exactly right.
Oh, my God.
This show's getting big. Huge.
Oh, God.
Ask Tiffany Shepis.
Oh, my God.
Ask Kane Hodder.
Okay. Here we go.
Ask Melissa Rose.
We will return you to the regularly scheduled program in just a moment. But first,
Let's make some merch money.
you've known Dead on the Bases as a
Where we
high-quality
selling
podcast. You've known that only the highest levels of quality are tolerated in our audio and video product, delivered to you with only the finest podcasting partners and online audio delivery or video streaming. Now, Jeff and Tim are happy to announce their next phase in the proud evolution of their brand. Because now, Dead on the Bases has... You heard us right. You heard us develop the product online You saw how the elements came together. You heard it all become the juggernaut of awesome you know today. We have Dead on the Bases merch. Get this high-quality, durable garment at our store or a fine partner location. Get our classic and classy tees that really shine, worn out on their own, paired with some chinos or a pair of jeans. This is for sure your new favorite tee, and it's also your significant other's new favorite tee. Made with a super soft blend of ring-spun cotton and polyester to help the shirt keep its shape, as it will soon be the shirt you wear for all occasions.
Well, here it is.
And what else do we have coming in the line?
I'm thinking about getting coasters, and I'm thinking about getting tumblers, like Yetis. I don't know, man. I think we got a market going. I don't know.
As always, Jeff, you are so right. Get this fabulous product now at a location near you. Dead on the Bases, when you care, and when you are...
Open it up, Muskego style!
Parkland Mall, baby.
Parkland Mall. What a wonderful location.
I wish that place was still around.
I don't. All right.
I love Muskego more than you do. That's why.
That's probably true. It would be difficult.
But you know what we have to talk about now?
I don't, but I think you're going to tell me.
I thought. Well, look at that.
Oh, isn't that
How
pretty?
peaceful. Horror realm.
It is Horror Realm.
Yes.
But a lot of people say it's the most peaceful of the horror-based conventions.
Look at it, only 112 days.
It's only 112 days.
I know.
That's
I'm
right.
getting ready. I can't
February 28th through March 2nd. The more important date is March 5th, but that's got nothing to do with this. My retirement.
Oh!
So, yeah. So I'm going
we're
to
gonna
be
celebrate
having
out
a
there.
really good time this year at Horror Realm. I just realized something.
Well,
We want to tell people about some of the celebrities that are going to be there. And I just realized the latest celebrity guest announcement did not make it into our slides
we have to
yet.
tell them who it is.
So I'll just tell you that we have Deanna Prince, who is known as Darcy the Mail Girl from Joe Bob's Briggs Last Drive-In from Shudder, is going to be out at Horror Realm. She was going to be, I think it was about 2 years ago that she was going to make it, and ended up not being able to come out and got rescheduled. And as we're talking about reschedules, we also got Barbara Crampton is coming back this year. She was supposed to be there last year. In fact, some people were very excited about her coming out.
BC.
And she is going to come out this year, which means the two of us have to get together and watch Chopping Mall.
Sure. I watched Chopping Mall.
You do not know. Have you watched it?
Well, no, but it's going to be an 80s slasher movie. I can
Yeah,
tell you.
and it's got Barbara in there.
Yeah, it's
so
gonna be fun.
it's going to be fun. You're going to
I've
love
never
it,
seen it.
actually. You're going to love it. That I was hoping to save that for a show because you're going to give it a 10 for sure. But it's more important for you to see this before Barbara.
I liked Reanimator. I was good. I was on that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You had a good lineup last year.
We also have some more guest announcements that I believe these all happened since last time we were together.
Okay.
We have two from Evil Dead 2 because it's Evil Dead 2, so you get two. We have Cassie DePavia and Sarah Berry. You would know them also as the two women that are in the movie.
Okay,
I don't think
all
there's
right.
any other women. I've been thinking about that. I think they got them both. And Lisa Schrag, who is from Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou, which is a movie this guy has on his list of shame. I've never seen it. And that is going to be rectified soon. And it might be at the Trogdorsk Theater. We haven't decided.
So is that like a sequel to Carrie or no?
No, it's a completely different thing.
Well, it said Prom Night, right?
Yeah, there was a movie called Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
Is it a sequel to that?
It's a sequel to that, but I'm told
There you go,
it
see?
doesn't. Yeah.
See, I know my
You're right all
I
along.
know everything.
Sure. It's supposed to be very different than the first one. I was not a fan of the first one, and that's why I never seeked out the second one. And people have been telling me, Tim, you don't know what you've been missing. And I said, correct, because I have not yet seen it. What are you, an imbecile?
Wait.
And then they get mad at me for saying, what are you, an imbecile?
Which one?
Which seems odd.
Which one is the one where all the blood gets on the person? Is that
God?
Is that the prom night one?
Are you kidding?
Or is that the Carrie one?
What is Jeff doing right now?
I'm serious.
He believes he's being funny, everybody.
Fine.
We all know that isn't the case.
I guess
I don't know. Every horror movie ever made has
But
blood.
there's someone standing there with their prom dress on and blood all over.
Okay. That is Carrie.
That's all I'm asking people.
That movie is Carrie. You were asking, is it the horror movie where the person gets blood on them? Well, if it's a horror movie, they better get blood on them or they're just dead.
Could happen.
Those are the two states. Blood on you or you're dead.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough.
So you were wrong, Jeff.
See,
wrong.
He's prepping. He's trying to get that in my head for trivia. He's trying to get it so that I convince myself to be wrong, but I won't.
That remains to be seen, as does your review.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, I don't have any notes. What I'm worried about. Okay.
You don't have a review, but we will find out how long this film is.
So, the movie that I got this week was
Fantastic.
a horror movie.
Awesome.
And it was called I Was a Teenage Werewolf.
Right.
It came out in 1957. It's just approved. There's no really, R, X, PG, G. It's just approved. Everybody can watch it. It's an hour and 16 minutes long. It's an hour and 15
Everyone,
minutes longer
you can
than...
have your shot.
It's an hour and 15 minutes longer than what it needed to be. So here we go.
Here it
So
comes.
now here's a couple things.
Both barrels coming.
Here's a couple things about this movie. So I didn't know Michael Landon was the lead in this, but while he was in there, I'm like, I wonder if that's Michael Landon. So then I had to go on my IMDb and I'm looking through it, and sure enough, that's Michael Landon. And
The Michael Landon.
right, but you can tell this has got to be early in his career because his acting in this was so bad. He was, I feel, okay, in my opinion, I think he was over the top with his anger. His anger was just way too unbelievable.
Well,
for me.
that's the character,
I know,
though,
but
is the whole setup is he has anger issues.
I know, but it was like too much. It was like it was fake. It was like the anger was fake.
He's an actor.
Okay, but here's another thing.
What actors do, Jeff, for your reference, is they pretend.
Right. But
Sometimes they're good at pretending.
but he was not good at pretending
Sometimes
this time.
they are not.
Okay, he wasn't good pretending this time. And
I am going to capitulate that, yes, this is not Michael Landon's best work.
thank you. Now, back onto my review. This movie also...
Part of it, hold on, before you go,
No, it's
though.
okay.
Part of it is Michael Landon is known by us primarily for Little House on the Prairie
Mr. Ingalls.
and Being Touched by an Angel in the Place Show Me on the Doll. And,
Why?
yeah.
Why?
In both of those, he's a very laid-back, relaxed, calm, cool person. So seeing that actor that we always know as the calm, cool father figure type of guy acting like a wild teen, it doesn't really fit our view of what Michael Landon is.
Right.
So I think that might have part of it. The other part of it, he wasn't very good in this.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to my review. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
It's an hour and 16 minutes long, but the way this opens up, it opens up similar to Predator 2. You jump in the middle of this bowl of soup, they're fighting. You have no idea why they're fighting. You just have these two guys rolling around, jumping around, punching each other, whatever.
Pumping each what?
Punching each other.
That's
and
what
it's
she
just
said.
and it's just it did not start out the way a movie should start out. It just started out like they drop you in the middle of this bowl of soup and they're like, just eat it. And I didn't want to eat it at that point. I just wanted to just ease into this.
You are
movie.
trying to make fetch happen right now. You want to make a soup thing going on.
It's true.
And you should eat the soup from the side.
So
That's what
listen,
you should
how
do.
does Predator 2
Give me a
open?
break.
How does
Don't
Predator
ever
2
bring this up
How
again.
does Predator 2 open up? It opens up with all this gang stuff in the middle of you don't know why it's happening.
Oh, I have been corrected. It wasn't Touched by an Angel. it was Highway
Way
to
to
Heaven.
Heaven.
But they're the same show, aren't they?
I don't know. I never watched either one of them.
I didn't either, but I knew he was on it for about 85 years.
I don't know about that.
I'm rounding.
Okay. Here's the other thing. This movie had a very, very Twilight Zone feel to it. It did. I think maybe because it was in black and white.
Because it was in black and white. I knew you were going to say that.
But it
doesn't feel anything like a
It does.
Twilight Zone.
It kind of does because when okay, but this is my review.
You're wrong.
No, when he's getting hypnotized by the doctor, I got a very Twilight Zone feel from that whole doctor scene. It felt like I was watching an episode of Twilight Zone, which isn't bad. I'm just saying that's the kind of feel you're going to get from this movie. Now, this movie also played on the fact that they were teenagers. So you have all this teenage lingo that they had in the 70s. You had the guy playing bongos.
Well, not 70s.
50s.
50s.
Sorry,
yeah.
50s.
Yeah, it was very daddy-o.
Yes, playing
yeah.
the bongos. And then they had the party in a haunted house.
Jeff is hiding from everybody right now that he is actually an accomplished bongo player.
You know, at one point I wanted to play the bongos and I wanted to go down by Summerfest and play them and have people throw money, but I never did it. I thought it'd been kind of cool to do it, but I just didn't do it. But that's nothing that...
You would have been wrong in both cases.
Anyways.
About being cool.
Okay, here we go.
And getting money.
Let's here we go, folks. I Was a Teenage Werewolf is a 1957...
You keep moving this farther and farther.
Is a 1957 werewolf movie that's an hour and 16 minutes long. It's got
Hour 16.
It's got Michael Landon in it. It's got Yvonne Lyme in it. Whit Bissell, Charlie Wilcock, Barney Phelps, Dawn Richardson, or Dawn
there's
Richard.
very few people
Ken Miller.
in here.
There's no one that you really recognize except for maybe Michael Landon.
What? Wait a minute. There's a lot of people you don't recognize in here. But did you recognize the one police officer? Guy Williams?
Him?
No. Go down. Guy Williams. This is the gentleman that was in Lost in Space. He was the father.
Yeah, I know
He
who
was
that is.
also Zorro in the classic Disney Zorro.
Yeah.
He is the connection between our two movies. Because he was a big Disney guy, and we had a big Disney film.
I didn't know I didn't plan that, though.
Yes, you did. That's what you told me before the show.
I'll take credit for it. But anyway,
Okay.
Here we go. Now, so back to this whole thing. All right, so let's just get back down to brass
hour
tacks.
16 minutes.
No, we know that already.
Ouch.
Okay, so what happens is Michael Landon plays this troubled teen that he always gets bent out of shape about something. He wants to fight. And so then his dad or a teacher, somebody told him, hey, go get hypnotized. His girlfriend doesn't want him to do it, so he's like, all right, I'll get hypnotized. So then this mad scientist of a doctor is like, you know what? I'm gonna try to turn him into a werewolf. Well, I don't know if he really thought he was gonna do that, but he wanted him to regress. And this is where I got lost in the movie because I don't understand why regressing would turn you into a werewolf. So I was sort of like, at that point, I was just kind of like,
matter.
I was kind of on cruise control there. I was just kind of watching it just to watch it.
Right.
That's why I'm glad it was only an hour and 16 minutes long. But here's another thing. They're partying They're partying in what's considered a haunted house. It looked like more like a frat house, but it wasn't really haunted. They just like playing tricks on everybody.
Yes, it was stupid.
Kind of dumb. And then, but I gotta say, I gotta give it credit for a couple things. Okay. The makeup for the werewolf I thought was really good.
Except those teeth. They look like bananas.
I know, but I kind of liked it.
You liked the teeth?
I did. I thought it was a very realistic looking werewolf. It scared me. So we had that. Listen. There's a couple kills in here. Oh, but I can tell, you know what? I'm not going to even care if I spoil this because you really don't need to see this movie. Yep. How do they kill a werewolf without silver bullets?
You just shoot them a bunch of times.
Nope. I'm sorry. If you know anything about werewolves, they cannot be killed unless they have silver bullets.
Right.
So how does he die?
Because they shot him a bunch of times.
Nope. There's so many holes in this movie. There's more holes in this movie than they are in Tony Rivers' body in this movie. Anyways, so this movie is just there. It's just there. So here's the thing. I'm gonna give you my rating on this movie.
Yeah, let's do that.
2. 1 for Michael Landon and 1 for the werewolf. That's it.
Wow.
I did not like this movie. This movie put me to. I went to bed after this movie. I went to bed agitated. I did not like this.
I predicted that you were not going to like this one quite a bit. I wasn't sure about 2. I thought I might get 3. But I do believe, I wanted you to see it because it is Michael Landon's first real movie role.
Yeah,
and it's interesting. The makeup effect, the transformation is actually kind of good.
That's good.
But those teeth at the end.
I don't know. I kind of liked them. I thought it was pretty realistic looking. But yeah, that's my rating. So I got 2 on it.
All right. Well, folks, it's that time in the show that you all wait for. And Jeff is going to make sure he doesn't have his chat room open.
Oh, I got to turn all this down because you might ask me something about Cynthia.
Yeah, well, did you realize that the gymnast in that movie was a Playboy playmate?
No.
Yeah.
You could have asked me that. I would have got it wrong.
Yeah, you probably would have. But whatever I ask you, you'll get it wrong.
Am I going first or second?
You decide. I'll let the loser pick there.
I'll ask you questions first.
Okay.
I like being under pressure at the end.
Yeah, you sure do.
All right, Timmy.
That's what she said.
That's a good one.
That's what the ladies say when I'm on top.
Okay, Tim. Here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is trivia. So what happens in trivia? I will say 3 statements. One is going to be false. Tim has to figure out which one that is.
I get to call Jeff a liar. That's the best part of this. And every week I'm right that he is a liar. I'm not always right which one is the lie, but I always get to call you a liar, which is a treat for me and the audience.
DVP.
DVP. Oh, we're back to Dick Van Patten. Okay.
DVP once started a parody movie about tennis with Bruce Jenner and Nicolette Sheridan named Dirty Tennis.
Okay.
The name Medford College is actually a homage to Walt Disney's high school.
Okay.
And Kurt Russell, his obsession with Elvis led him to being the voice of the king in Forrest Gump.
Okay, those are your 3?
I did 3 statements, yes.
Yeah, you lied the third time.
Which
The third one about Kurt Russell being Elvis in, what was it?
Elvis's voice in Forrest Gump.
Elvis's voice in Forrest Gump. That's a lie.
That's your final answer?
I am correct about this.
Dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 you're wrong.
Really?
You're wrong.
Unbelievable.
You are so wrong. And I put it in there because I knew it. Medford College, there's no connection with Walt Disney and Medford. So
That was the other one I was thinking about, but I know that Kurt Russell played Elvis in a movie directed by who?
He played Elvis. He played Elvis in
A TV movie.
Yes, he
called
did.
Elvis.
Yes, I did this for my research.
And it was directed by John Carpenter, who went on to hire him for The Thing.
Tim is right about
and
that.
a bunch of other movies. So I figured that angle. So, okay. I take that correctly. Okay.
Yes.
So, here we
Bring
go.
it on. Bring it on.
Here we go. And you're going to get this one, right?
I don't know.
You told me you were going to get this one.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. The studio that made this movie was called AIP. AIP was a studio that specialized in teen pictures and went on to make the Beach movies with Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello.
Okay.
Next one. Teen Wolf was a premise that was a remake of this film in a way in the 80s with Michael J. Fox. Like that film, the star, Michael Landon, was in the middle of a run on a hit TV show, Bonanza, as Michael J. Fox was with Family Ties. Okay.
Wait a second. There's a lot of
So
words
what
in
I'm
there.
saying,
Yes,
what
a
I'm
lot of words in
saying,
there.
what I'm saying is Teen Wolf very much like this movie. Michael J. Fox was a celebrity in Family Ties
Got you.
at that time.
Got
And
you.
I will tell you, that is true. That's
Right. No, I know
absolutely
that.
true.
I know that.
Here's the part that is, the
part that I got to
part
consider.
is Like that film, the star Michael Landon was in the middle of his run on a hit TV show, Bonanza.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
With Big Hoss. Gotcha.
Right. And last but not least, Chuck Norris taught Michael Landon karate. Those are my three.
Okay, here's the thing.
The first was AIP.
Here's the thing.
The second was Teen Wolf. The third was Chucky Norris.
He taught him karate. All right, so here's the question, Tim. Is AIP an acronym for something?
American International Pictures.
Okay. That's all I need to know. So that one is
Why?
That one is correct.
Okay.
The next one is here's why I think that one's not going to be correct. I think that's going to be false because if you see how old Michael Landon is in this movie, there's no way he was doing Bonanza at the same time. He doesn't. He looks.
Oh.
He looks a lot older in Bonanza.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Or was
That's
he?
why they call him Little Joe.
Or was he in? Or was he in Gunsmoke? And then why would Chuck Norris teach him karate? What would he need karate for? Tim, these are some tough questions. But I know that one is right. I know one is correct.
You know, one is right.
The first one. No, I mean the first one, AIP. That one's correct.
So that's true.
So now, but we're down to those two. And I'm telling you.
I'm glad you know that about AIP.
I'm telling you from what I see about.
That's a good thing to know.
What I'm telling you about the whole Bonanza thing.
The whole
Because I think Bonanza came out in in the 60s.
I actually, for breakfast, I had some Bonanza. I opened it up out of the skin. It was very nice.
I think
Went
Bonanza
well
was
with the cereal.
I think Bonanza was a 60s movie, 60s TV show.
No smoke when I ate cereal.
Or was it Gunsmoke? What'd you say he was in Bonanza or Gunsmoke?
I said Bonanza.
Yeah, he was in there with Little John, so that's right. But then Chuck Norris, why would you say that? Why would you say that unless it's true?
Why
Because that
would I
sounds
say
so
that?
weird.
It sounds weird.
You know what?
What?
The one that's false is the second one about Bonanza. That's the false one.
Bonanza is false.
That's the false one.
So Michael
Wait,
Landon
wait.
was not in Bonanza.
Well, no. That's not what he said. That's not what he said. Wait, whoa. Did you not say that? Wait a second. I thought the way that this is worded is that.
No, I said, like that film, the star Michael Landon was in the middle of his run on a hit TV show, Bonanza.
Then that's the false one.
You are correct.
Because of his age. You could just tell by his age. Yes.
Actually, he was only 2 years younger.
Yeah, but you
And
can
then
tell.
he went on to make Bonanza. Chuck Norris taught a lot of actors karate back in the day. And I almost asked you about this. Michael Landon actually broke the record for javelin throwing in the high school in 1954. A little sports connection there.
If you would have put it up against the Bonanza question, I still would have taken Bonanza. So is that true about the javelin?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's cool.
Another true fact is Michael Landon's son, Christopher,
Yeah.
wrote the film Happy Death Day and Freaky, which you
I
like
like
both
them
of
both.
those that were previously on this film.
I've got a Michael Landon one that I thought you were going to ask me, and that's why I didn't bring it up during my review.
What was
He
that?
actually produced a movie. I was a middle-aged werewolf.
Yeah, that was a short though.
Okay, but I thought you were
I
going to
have
try to
seen
throw
it.
that in there. I thought
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why I left that one alone, because I figured you would find that one. All right, so let's take a look
Let's take a look at
the
those
scores.
Let's take a look at those scores.
Let's take a look. Here they come. Jeff is smoking me because I'm fair with my scoring, and Jeff is throwing stuff like twos out there.
You know that.
So that's okay,
Okay,
though.
you
He needs every point he can get, folks,
you figured out.
because sports movies suck so bad.
Yeah, that's why there's two nines
It's
in there.
amazing.
That's why there's two nines.
Yeah, the next. What are you gonna do next season,
I don't
pal?
know.
You just used the last two good movies
Nope, I got a couple.
ever made on sports. Just so you know.
I get. You know, I feel like Rodney Dangerfield over here. I get no respect.
I get no respect. You know who else doesn't get respect? Dead on Thursdays. I don't know. Next week, here on Thursday on Twitch, we have a Dead On movie reviews. It will be here, and people will say, that's a wonderful thing that we got to watch. I love it so very, very much. As you know, we rotate through 4 different programs currently on Dead On Thursdays, and Dead On Movie Reviews is the oldest of them, and we premiered Now Streaming not too long ago here on Halloween, and that will be coming back in December. A lot of people have been asking about that, and Susie's going to show a Christmas movie.
Oh, the one with
A Christmas
a
movie.
Santa one?
No, I don't know which one she's gonna.
It's
pick.
gonna be Santa. It's gonna
Don't
be
ask me which one it's gonna be.
Oh, but hey, you know what?
Don't ask me. I
I'm
said.
not gonna, but I need to ask you something.
Yep. I said don't ask me.
Where was the connection?
The what?
Oh,
I forgot to do the Pauly Shores.
can we
I
still
forgot
do
to
it?
do
Can we still
All
work
right.
in there?
Yeah, we'll do. Here we go. Very quickly, we are going to. You're supposed to remind me as we're doing this. Strongest man in the world, the Pauly Shore connection.
You're connected with Cesar Romero, I bet. DVP.
No, Kurt Russell.
Okay.
And I went through Elvis
Yeah.
to Shelley Winters was in Elvis. And Shelley Winters, of course, was in Jury Duty
Yeah.
with Pauly Shore, as everybody knows,
Okay.
because we've done that connection a couple of times. And Jeff, yours is more difficult because it's an older film.
It's got to go through Michael Landon. Right?
Well, who else are you going to pick, really? You know, I guess I could have done Guy Williams, but it makes sense to go with Michael Landon. And Michael Landon, we're going to go to one of my favorite ways to connect to Pauly Shore. We go through the Dean Martin Christmas show to George Burns. George Burns to 18 again. That's been one of my classic moves.
There you go.
Because that Dean Martin Christmas show, boy, that had a lot of stars in it. Someday I'm going to get to watch that thing. And that'll be a great day for all of America.
Maybe we'll watch that at your brother's house.
Probably not. But
I don't get it. Have any fun.
I don't know that he wants you there because he has to put the paper down, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Because he get excitable. Should we talk about the next time this program is coming?
And in between there, if you want to email me, you can email me at jeff@otherworldlyculture.com.
And he's finally reading those.
I am. And the thing that I want this week in the next 2-week period, I want you to know if you like sober Jeff or you'd rather have drinking Jeff to do the show.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Well, we'll see what more comes up. What is this? The straight... I'm not watching that.
You're going to be watching
I'm
The
not watching that.
Strangers.
That looks kind of effed up.
The Strangers is a film that came out
I don't want to watch that.
on film, and it was projected on large screens, which calls it a movie.
Tim, I don't want to watch that.
And-
I don't want to
and
watch that.
It's going to be lots of fun for you and the whole family. You will probably want a little doggy nearby, so you have something to hit when you're angry.
I will never
All
hit my
right.
dog.
And then...
Yes, you get Mr. Baseball.
I get subjected to Mr. Baseball.
This is a fantastic movie with Tom Selleck. Are you kidding me? This is great.
Are you kidding me? Does anybody have the over/under? How many times does Jeff ask if I'm kidding him?
This is a fantastic movie. I love this
I would
movie.
never kid you. You know that.
Okay.
I never pull your leg on anything. I am nothing.
Serrano's in this too. The guy who played in.
Yeah, he was in Major League,
Yeah.
wasn't he? As the voodoo priest or something.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week's Dead on the Bases. We want to thank everybody that came out to tonight's program.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out. I hope you had fun.
It's fun,
I did.
challenging, and enjoyable, just like math. Want to thank everybody that comes out live in particular, and we want to thank our chef of the night,
Yes.
Shell. And we will be adjourning to that room right after the program to enjoy some more.
We're gonna make you a little moniker thing too. It's gonna be probably a rabbit.
It's not going to be a rabbit. So it's time to close the crypt and call the game. Thank you all for watching.
you.
And remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. You can find the show at otherworldlyculture.com and follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and other fine places that you find podcasts. Now remember, everybody, if it's sports, it's a home run.
It is.
If it's horror, run home! We're Dead on the Bases, and we'll see you next time.
Otherworldlyculture.com. Pumpkin Smash Cake is awesome.com.
That's true.
It is.
That's true. Did you see how I really brought the energy there?
I
Did
did.
you see that?
I did.
That's because I
Was
have
drinking.
a victim downstairs. And I sucked all the blood out of her. And I'm feeling kind of frisky.
Okay.
Yeah. So that happened.
So that means that I need to get my butt out of here. Get out.
I would, but
I don't think you would do something to your friend. I don't think
No.
you wouldn't do nothing.
No, I wouldn't. It's more fun to torture you week after week with these horror movies. After you see Strangers, you're going to be a shell of your former self.
I'm not
It's
watching
going to be awesome, baby.
I'm not watching it.
It's going to be
I'm
awesome.
not watching it.
All right.
I have 2 weeks to watch it. I'll find some time in there.
All right. Thanks, everybody, and have a great evening.
I'll watch it 15 minutes at a time.